Detroit Lions signed DJ Reed, one of the top corners in this year's free agency market, after they lost their top corner, Carlton Davis. I can't say we all were devastated. I was certainly devastated. I was disappointed. I was concerned. And I think it was deserving so, because, like, what are we going to do? Brad Holmes did something, lickety-split just like that, and goddamn it, one of the best guys on the market right now in DJ Reed. Not only just like a good football player, but a good football player that fits your scheme. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good football players out there right now that I see guys in my mentions and my DMs and a lot of times in the chat as well. Let's go get Azeez Ojulari. Let's go get Josh Sweat. Let's go get – these are guys that are good football players.
Don't fit the scheme.
They don't fit our scheme.
Yeah.
All right, we run a 4-3. And what specifically the type of guys they like on that defensive line, they like the stockier guys. But in the cornerback room, they like guys that could go man-to-man. They like guys that play the run. Mm-hmm. DJ Reed does both those things. And not just does them, he's actually really fucking good at them.
Yeah, DJ Reed was arguably the best outside corner on the market this year. He was a guy that I expected to get the same amount, if not more money, than what Carlton Davis was looking for. And Brad Holmes got him on a discount. So this was just an absolute home run signing by Brad Holmes. And you did have me convinced at the end of it that they weren't going to get Carlton Davis. And that sucked. But I had faith that Brad Holmes would get somebody. I had faith that Brad Holmes wouldn't walk in to next season chasing a Super Bowl, starting year two cornerbacks. And he did. He went out there and he got DJ Reed. And like you said, he fits what they want to do very well. He's a great man coverage corner, and he likes to play physical and aggressive and tackle out on that edge. And that's exactly what you need out of cornerbacks in this system. DJ Reed, on top of that, he's a dog, man.
He's an absolute dog.
He's a dog, man. And you bring that in to a locker room with a quarterback room full of dogs. We talked about this with Amik Robertson. You're bringing in another guy of that same ilk, another guy of that same mentality, another guy of that same drive to put back there with Amik and Terrion and Kirby and Brian Branch and Ennis Rakestraw, all of whom got that dog mentality in them. So you got the dog pound in the back end of the Lions defense. I'm excited. You brought the kennel master. You brought the pack leader in here with DJ Reed, legitimately a cornerback one on this team. And I know everybody's saying, oh, he's not a cornerback one. He's not a guy that you could put on the outside. Sounds a lot like what you fucks were saying last year about Carlton Davis. Don't worry, we remember. Because when we were on this show, seeing Brad Holmes went out there and got cornerback one, a lot of you guys on Twitter and in the chat, Carlton Davis isn't cornerback one. He's not going to be a cornerback one on this team. And look at that. Now you're wishing Daddy still came back with the milk. It's the same deal with DJ Reed now that the Lions got him. He wasn't cornerback one on the Jets. Yeah, well, I don't see Sauce Gardner sitting in the Lions training facility. Great move by Brad Holmes to bring in a guy that's on caliber with any other cornerback you're going to see signed on this market for a discount. Just Brad cooking.
Fifth amongst corners, passer rating allowed. You know what that number was? 33.6. For context, 39.3 is a passer rating you get when you throw the ball literally into the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
33.6 of the passer rating that this man, DJ Reed, allowed. And by the way, he's not coming from the Jets defense was known as a really good one for like the past several years. Last year, that wasn't the case.
They were not good last year.
He was one of the well-performing pieces, and now he becomes a Detroit Lion. 6 in tight window throws. This is a really good cornerback.
Yeah.
5'9", 31-inch arms. I think that's the only reason why he didn't get 20. I mean, he's the same age as Carlton Davis. They're both going to turn 29 in seasons. I was kind of not confused, but I'm curious as to why he wouldn't demand the same money as Carlton. I mean, I definitely think Carlton's amazing. By the way, I'm not going to lie, though. Patriots pairing Carlton Davis with Gonzalez.
Yeah.
That's kind of –
Patriots are going to be good next year.
That's kind of sick.
Patriots are going to be good next year.
Kind of nasty. They went and grabbed, what's his name, too, Harold Landry.
Yep.
But, yeah, DJ Reed, absolute steal for the Detroit Lions. Congratulations, Brad Holmes. You
did it. Love you, Brad. I'd rather you grab a defensive end as well. One of those guys that I really think DeMarcus Lawrence is one that has a lot of potential. And if you bring in a rotation of guys, DeMarcus Lawrence, Josh Pascal, and Marcus Davenport opposite Aiden Hutchinson, that's the other thing. You know what would have made Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold look a lot better last year? If they had Aiden Hutchinson wrestling the passer for the rest of the season. Aiden Hutchinson coming back is going to make these defensive backs look even better. And what did we talk about? Guys they wanted with the pass rush they have. Sticky guys in man coverage that can get there and knock off that first look for a quarterback. And that's what DJ Reed's going to do. He's not going to get beat off the line. He's not going to have guys running down the field like Jerry Jacobs or not Carlton Davis. No disrespect to him. what was his name? Cam Sutton did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And he is going to be of the ilk of press him to the line and play man coverage. Great deal to bring him in here. This is a home run. This is a home run by Brad Holmes.
Fireworks to start the day. Brad Holmes knew what Detroit needed this morning when he signed DJ Reed. ESPN Plus put out an article ranking their top 100 free agents. It was from Matt Bowen. DJ Reed, number 1 out of all free agents on that list. The Athletic, he ranked number 9th in all free agents. CBS had him ranked 8th. PFF had him ranked 6th. This is a undoubtedly top 10 free agent on the board, but more importantly, the number 1 cornerback. This is really big to start the offseason this way, getting DJ Reed to bolster the secondary. Now, we're not satisfied, and we never will be, boys. It's all eyes turned to the defensive line. What can Brad Holmes do now? But for today, I'm celebrating the DJ Reed signing by Brad Holmes. I'm loving it. $16 million per. This is a great deal from Brad Holmes. Strikes again in free agents with a good deal for DJ Reed.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at this too. Like going through the last couple of years, you had Cam Sutton, you had CD. This is something that you now can see as okay between him and the cornerback room you're building with the draft picks last year. You now have something stable going forward. That's the one thing I've wanted from this cornerback room. We've known the last couple years the defensive backs have been a problem. A lot of the defense has been a problem, and it's gotten better and better. But this is the one room that I really wanted him to invest in long term, and now you're able to do that because this is a great contract for a player that is highly productive and worst case scenario movable. It's short term. It fits the window you're in. It allows Terrion and Ennis to grow, and it won't stunt their development or hold them back by any means. So I love this. This is a great response.
And then if you want to talk about the injuries, because that's a lot of stuff that was thrown in my face when I was disappointed in us losing Carlton Davis. Well, you get this with DJ Reed. Mm-hmm. 4 seasons, 14-plus games. I think Carlton Davis can never say that. I don't think he's ever done that in his career.
No.
So you also have a guy that's probably going to be a little bit more available for you. Now, obviously, sometimes guys miss games. If you're going to miss games in the middle of the season, sure. But as long as you come back and you're there for the playoffs,
yeah.
As you said, that's all I care about.
That's all that matters.
That's all I care about. And I just saw a comment in Woodward Sports chat that, maybe he did take a little bit less money to come play with the winner because the Jets haven't been great in a long time. Mm-hmm. Ever, maybe, to be honest with you. I think last time they were good and had expectations when Braylon was there.
I don't want to say 100% positive he's going to trade up and get an edge in the first round, but I really think he's going to trade up and get an edge in the first round.
That's kind of where – so before this signing was even made, if you guys follow your boy at @SpeakySports_Twitter, I did put 4 free agent edge rushers out. Mm-hmm. But I got to thinking, they brought back Davenport. We're going to talk about that too. They're not going to sign anybody in this open market like that. They're going to do it in the draft.
That's what I said.
Either going to trade up to get a stud, if he's within range, or they're going to trade back and take multiple swings on second-round guys.
That's what I said over the weekend is that I'm almost convinced now that Brad Holmes is going to sign a defensive tackle and a cornerback in free agency and then draft his edge to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. And the cornerback part was right. I still think they're going to sign a veteran defensive tackle to fill in for Lee McNeil because, he's going to have to miss a couple games to start the season more than likely. But if they get an edge, it's not going to be a Trey Hendrickson. No. Lions fans can ease back on that one. If they do, I'll poop right in the middle of the desk. No, I'm just kidding. But
what will you do?
I'll run down Woodward with my shirt off if they trade for Trey Hendrickson. But
you do that already.
I know. I've done it before. I expect them to get a defensive tackle more than I would say an edge in free agency.
Yeah, I can see that. Either or. And honestly, I'm not even necessarily closing the door on edge. I just think they're really Brad has a little bit of belief in Marcus Davenport.
There was talks about Sweat before he went to Arizona.
But that was ESPN.
Adam Schefter on ESPN said he was hearing Detroit in talks with Sweat.
Somebody posted a clip. It was just like a mention.
Yeah.
It'd be cool with Detroit, not like a...
No, they were talking about it, and they were talking about Sweat, and Louis Riddick said he's going to be one of the best players in this free agent class, and Adam Schefter said, I'm hearing Detroit.
I don't think that's what happened.
Okay.
They posted the clip on Twitter. I think it was Dano. Dano's like, Detroit?
Yeah.
Saying Detroit. They weren't going to get him. He's one of those 3-4 guys. I mean, tremendous player. Another thing too, like the money wise too, like Brad's just not going to spend that type of bread in free agency. He's been very consistent every step of the way. He's going to build that. He's going to build this through the draft and fill in the holes in free agency. That's precisely what he's done year after year after year. Now, we'll talk about that strategy at some point in the show. Do you guys approve of it? I think, due to like the success we've had, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But we also want the Super Bowl. So like we're asking, maybe is there a little bit more you can do? But in terms of the defensive line, yeah, I think Brad does believe that you may have your solution in Marcus Davenport. Although I will say, I don't know if this is to favor or benefit the Detroit Lions, but if you look at the structure of the contract, you'll like this too, Nick. He's given there's only like 1.7, I believe, is like the base salary of the contract. Mm-hmm. Majority of the sentence is games. So if you play these games, then this contract becomes at 4.7.
$100,000 a game, if
Yep.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Love the deal.
Yes.
Like, that's what you need for a guy like Davenport. Stay your ass on the field.
That was
Like,
it was a perfect deal for
Yes.
Marcus Davenport. Anybody that's poo-pooing that deal and like, oh, they did it again. Like, would you not take him for $1 million? It was like $1.5 million.
I told you
Guaranteed.
guys I would take him for a deal up to $6.
Yeah.
And they did even better than that.
No, they did way better. That was a perfect deal for Marcus Davenport. Now, do I still think they grab somebody else? Yeah, obviously. You're still
you
going
have
to get
to.
somebody
You need
else.
the depth alone.
You need the depth alone, for sure. Because like you said, Pat O'Connor, John Kaminsky, Al-Quadin Muhammad, and even Levi Onwuzurike, all free agents. Those are guys who all spent time at that edge position. You know, they were trying to rotate people in over there. Levi, obviously, once Ali McNeil went down, focused more on the defensive tackle spot. But they're going to grab somebody else. They need the depth. And whether it's re-signing those guys, like I said, I'd be willing to bet a pretty good amount of money that they trade up for an edge rusher in the draft this year.
Yep. I think if, have St. Milberti may help us make some money this offseason or this regular season with some bets. And she's no longer with the team at the moment, but she said 18 is like a doable spot to move up. So if one of those guys I don't think he'll be there, but my guy, Shamar Stewart, I think he'd go and grab that. I think anybody look at this draft class that has the frame to build up over that 270 or just can collapse the pocket, I think that's a Brad Holmes guy. I think them re-signing Marcus Davenport is another sign of that as well.
That's what they like.
Yeah, they're not going to get any skinny, fast guys.
No.
They're not going to get these DPR, designated pass rusher guys. They want guys who can stand up, stop the run, seal the edge, and collapse the pocket. That's the type of defensive end they're after. And if they're not that, when they draft them, they at least have the expectations to become that. Even when James Houston was here, he was drafted as a linebacker, not the edge rusher he became.
Yeah.
And then he became that weird tweener that could never really figure it out. And then guess what?
He gone.
Now he's gone. Not even on the team anymore.
Nope.
I wanted the Marcus, like I said, I wanted the Marcus Davenport. I was going to give him up to 6. And when healthy, I think he is very, very effective. I don't hate that at all whatsoever. What does become questionable, which we're going to talk about next, Spinny, is they cut our man's Darius Smith. We'll get into it. We got
Makes
some
total sense to me.
bills to pay. I'm down to hear that one. Tell us about it when we get back after Chris tells us about that.